the biggest joy of my life was being in original bands. There's nothing that compares to it. It's not the same as being a professional musician. Being in a band is not the same as being a professional musician. Now, the thing that saved me, the thing that allowed me to be in the band culture and then transition very easily into the professional musician culture is I practiced. I always had a teacher, So it's really easy to get lazy when you're in an original band because you're having success and you're doing it based on who you are and what you do. But eventually that you're either going to become famous with that and it's going to sustain you forever and you're going to be the Rolling Stones, or the bands are all going to break up. Everyone's going to have to eventually get jobs. And then you're just sitting there like, what do I do now? So I think it's really important, no matter where you are in your goals, to study stuff, like listen to all kinds of music, learn how to read, have a teacher for a while when you're younger, because those things will sustain you and allow you to continue to play your instrument as a career,
Mm. Yeah.
Because very rarely, I mean, Doug was in a band in the 90s. The Verve Pipe was huge. That was a huge band. I knew of it, and I lived in Texas. They were a band in Michigan, and I was like, yeah, we know who the Verve Pipe is. Where's the band now?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They go away. The bands come and the bands go. It's rare that a band lasts.
Yeah.
Like we remember when Green Day was not big yet, and they were carrying their instruments in little red like wagons, pulling their instruments, trying to get an opening thing at a venue at any time of the day. They were hustling. They were trying to get opening slots. Just let us play one song.
Right.
They're huge. I mean, they're going to go on into history. So that doesn't happen all the time.
Right. It seems to me like a lot of people are faced with that decision of, do I go put all my eggs in one basket and go with just one band? This is my band. All my time is committed to it. I'm going to stick with it till the end. Maybe get a job on the side. Maybe I'll be a bartender or whatever. Or you could take the other route, just to have extremes. The other route could be, I want to be just a freelancer. I just want to hop around bands and I want to make my living that way. So there's a lot of people here in Nashville that will play Broadway, and they'll play 3 shows a day in front of the bachelorette parties and everything, all the chaos that goes on down there. But that's another possible way to be making a living on music, which I think that is a lot of people's goal, is to make a living on music. And I think what's cool about what you're doing is you're doing that. You're one of, I think, a rare bunch of people that are your age and are able to sustain a life by playing drums.
Yeah.
What a crazy concept. You're not an accountant, or like, so it's cool what you've done.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, I would put Nashville into the category of I want to be a musician, not I want to be in a band. People go to Nashville so they can get a touring gig, or so they hope they can get a session gig, and then you quickly realize that you're not going to be playing recording sessions in Nashville until you live there for a very long time. You're not going to be doing like the A-level, hit-level recording sessions until, I mean, Rich Redmond is a great example. He and I were at school together. I went to school with a bunch of guys that I'm happy to talk about if you want. But Rich is, the famous thing with Rich was, if you were at a party and Rich Redmond was there, and he and I joke about this, if you're at a party and Rich Redmond is there, by the end of the night, everyone in the room has 2 of his business cards. That's Rich. I mean, every single person in the room would know who he was before the night was over.
Right.
And he did that relentlessly for a decade. and still was having, still doing like demo sessions. And then, he was, the band he plays in, it just lost me. Do you know, the guy's name? I can't
Jason
think of it.
Aldean.
He's been playing with them for Jason. Yeah, with Jason Aldean. I know all those guys. It went out of my mind. That's a band. That's a rare situation in Nashville where what starts off as a gig becomes a band.
Right.
That band records the records as a band. That's so rare in Nashville. You have the session guys that do the records, and you have the touring guys that go on the road. And there was a period there just a few years ago where the touring guys, where the session guys were like, the work was starting to disappear, and the session guys were having to go out and do tours. And that's like an unheard of thing. You either do sessions or you do tours. And then Rich was one of these magical people who made it happen that he could be in a band and do sessions, like A-level sessions, hit level sessions, and be in a band. So that's right. But he's one in a million. I mean, he is like